Hey, we're back for the Coach's Show again. We had the privilege of doing Coach Patterson again this week for the football game. Coming up to Trenton this Friday night at 7:30. Please come out and go watch the football team. Before that, though, at 4:30, we're playing Trenton as well here in Collinsville, the volleyball team. So please come support Coach Johnson and her crew in that game as well. Coach, we're going to talk Tom Bean for a second. It's going to be real quick. We lost that game, but I really felt like your team played at a high level. And in this program, we believe that, yeah, scoreboard's winning. There's no doubt about it. But we feel like we can win in two ways. The first one is the scoreboard, like I just said. And the second one is just playing at a high level of competition. And I felt like your team did that. So when we walked in the locker room and talked to them, we told them, and they felt this way. We won the game. We just didn't win the scoreboard. So we lost. We didn't get beat, if you know what I'm talking about. So real quick, Coach, go ahead and talk about Tom Bean.
Well, we know the first time we played them, we lost the first two sets. We just barely made double digits, and the third set we went to, it was pretty neck and neck. So even a month or so ago when we played them, we knew that we could compete with them, and that's what our goal was this next round. Tom Bean's undefeated right now in our district. They're doing a great job, and we felt like when they came to our gym, we did compete better with them. Matter of fact, we won one set, and so that shows improvement. Lost the other three, but overall we were pleased with our performance.
Yeah.
We left it all on the court.
Yeah, and to my knowledge, that was the only set they might have been beat all district. But hats off to Tom Bean. They're good. So the bottom line is, when people are good, we like to say they're good, and they just beat us that night. But Coach, I got to get straight to Tioga. It was, man, what a great game. Now that puts us at 8-3 since we beat them. I'll go ahead and spill the beans a little bit.
We beat them twice.
We beat them twice. We swept them. So that puts us 8-3 in district. Them and 7-4. We're sitting number 2 seed as of right now, as long as we win out. But Coach, it was a great game. I mean, we lost the first game. We won game 2 and 3, but in the third game we were up 9-1, and they made a run back to beat us. But Coach, you got your team together and won game 4, match 4, and the fifth game was just so unbelievable on a call there at the end that their player called in, their judge called in, which we thought was in, but man, their crowd went crazy. But Coach, talk to me about the Tioga game. How excited were you?
Well, we had talked before we'd even left, as far as, hey, listen, you know, when they came here, they beat us the first 2 sets. We ended up winning the next 3. The football team from Friday just beat them 60-something to 0, and so we said, now we're going to their gym, and they're going to be hungry and on a vengeance, and on they want to be redeemed, and so.
And they were hungry.
We knew that the competition was going to be stiff and stiff. We had talked about, let's try to get them in 4, and we need to come off swinging. The first set we lost, and the second set we came back and won. The third set we won, and so there we were sitting on the bench getting ready to go in the fourth set and set to say, hey, we said we wanted to go 4. This is the 4th one. And we've got one on him. We need to get the win.
Yeah, I think y'all loosened up a little in the 4th set. Yeah.
And so we ended up going into that set, had the lead, and then they came back and won. So I said, you know, worst case scenario, we get to go to a 5th set. Matter of fact, we had talked about being in a certain rotation at a certain point in time where we kept getting stuck, where Tioga would chip away and make up a difference, because we had the lead several times, but we would get stuck in a certain rotation and they would start to make their way back, tie it up, if not take the lead. And so our goal going into the 5th set was, I had challenged them to stay in 3 specific rotations for as long as they could, because going into that 4th rotation is where we kept getting stuck.
Yeah, and I thought it was awesome before the 5th game. You know, Coach Johnson, we like to collaborate with our players, and she brought her 3 captains up, and she had a small discussion, which that can stay between them. But I thought that was very classy of Coach Johnson to put trust into her captains to decide what rotation y'all wanted to talk about in that game 5. But go ahead, Coach, continue.
Yeah, I definitely, you know, I wanted their input because they're the ones that are playing the game.
Right.
And so, you know, we agreed, keep it as normal, keep everything normal, and that's exactly what we did. And so when they went in to start that 5th set, our key word was stay. It wasn't, I mean, obviously it's compete, but we were focused in on the word stay, meaning stay in this rotation. I challenge you to stay in this rotation for as long as possible. By the time we got to the fourth rotation, which is the one I was pretty worried about. By then, the match was over and we had won. So that was definitely even a more challenge on our mental game than what we've been doing up to that point. And so, to see their excitement, I'm telling you, to see the student body section and the people who came over from our community, it was the best turnout I have seen. And I remember at one point in time, people behind me when we were at a timeout or in between games, apparently there were backflips going on behind us.
Awesome.
And so our kids loved that. And so to be able to share that as a Pirate Nation, that win, that just wasn't a volleyball game. And,
it's a playoff game.
And obviously we needed that game to secure our spot in second for that night, to go head to head against Tioga and beat them twice. But that was said, hey, we've kind of been beating Tioga in multiple sports, 3 times now in the past month, and we really felt like with everybody being there, that was a true Pirate Nation. We did it together.
Yeah, and just to talk about the backflips, it was kind of funny because there was a kid before. I know we need to hurry and move on, but there was a kid coming out of the stands on their side doing backflips, and they were getting loud and crazy. Well, he ended up doing one and he fell. Well, we don't want to laugh at anybody for falling, but at least he didn't get hurt, so now it was funny. But Allison Hardwick and Garrett Baggs come out of the stands and just did these awesome backflips over here, and our stand just started going crazy. We even had a kid rip his shirt off in Game 5, which was awesome. So moving on, Coach. Talk to me about chemistry. Now, kind of be quicker on this question. Talk to me about chemistry, not just working on the court, because a lot your parents and community see that, but also talk to me about the weight room, how the locker room's getting better. Because when I'm seeing them, there's a lot of positive vibes going on.
Yeah, we've really bonded together. Matter of fact, before we went to Tioga, I did an activity in my classroom where I had put all the players' names from varsity on a sheet and all the players' names from JV on a sheet, and they each got a chance to pass around their paper for each player to write something about the person's whose paper that was, and then said by the time we were done, hey, flip it over. Now that everybody's done, everybody flip their paper over and read what your teammates had to say about you. And and in that moment, we've been practicing together since August 3rd. We have break together 3 times a week. They have lunch together every day. They're in the locker room changing. They're on the bus. They're for hours practicing, possibly an hour or so in the bleachers waiting for the varsity game, for the JV game to finish. And then, sometimes 1 to 2 hours, sometimes 30 minutes of a game. So we're just together all the time. When they take that bond that they've developed and take it to team dinners, take it to the weight room, and they work out and they're building each other and pushing each other. They're hanging out in the locker room before it's time to take court, laughing, coming out, or we're playing music, they start dancing. It is so much fun to be around them.
Yeah, people don't realize in small schools like this, football and volleyball are really the only seasons that get a full season. So y'all already been going at it for almost 12 weeks. And I just she didn't touch on the weight room. I just want to talk about the weight room. They went heavy yesterday. Some of y'all, if y'all have looked at the Collinsville athletic website, she has some video on there. Y'all can see what them kids go through. So not only are they going through a 120-minute practice from Coach Johnson, they're also adding in time in the weight room. Go take a look at that so that you understand how committed they really are. I love how they work in the weight room because I really think it transforms wins on the court. Coach, playoff situation. We're at the end of the season. It's kind of starting to take care of itself, like we talked about. People don't realize at the beginning of the year, Coach Johnson and I had a goal in mind, and our first goal was to just get into the tournament. Well, we've done that. Not on top of that, Coach, you've also got the opportunity to be a second seed. So we've kind of exceeded our expectations. But where do we stand just as of right now for the playoff run? If it was to end today, where do we stand?
Well, if it was to end today, we're second in district, which means that the next district that we play are our by-district championship playoff game. There happens to be only 3 2A schools in that district. So with Tom being first and undefeated, they have a bye. Their first round, which means a second seed. We play the bottom of the next district's totem pole, which is their 3rd seed, and I believe we can make a good run. I don't even know how to necessarily pronounce all the school names of that district, but we look at their record, and at the same time, not knowing anything about a team, we're still so focused on what we need to do and what we need to improve.
Excellent, Coach. And yeah, for people that don't understand, Coach Johnson put a great thing up on the board the other day, because I took it for granted on something that you shouldn't. Is 1, 2, 3, and 4 per district. 1 plays 4, 2 plays 3, 3 plays 2, and obviously 4 plays 1. So we want to try to get 2 seed to play the 3 seed. Which, in case you guys and you fans out there want to go look it up, we play Rio Vista will be their 1, Italy will be their 2, and Itasca will be their 3. So we're looking at playing hopefully Italy or Itasca. Hopefully Itasca. But Coach, leads me to this next question. We have game here Friday at 4:30. We want everybody to come out and watch us. Talk to me about Trenton. They're our last 2A game of the year. How important is it to beat Trenton to be where you want to be? And just talk about Trenton. I mean, they're a pretty competitive team.
Right. We've gone to Trenton and played. We've beat them in 3. They've had adversity throughout their program, and so when they come to our gym, if like the coach and I were just saying yesterday, if we'd have checked out our schedule right when football got changed and tournaments got taken out, we should have swapped sites so we could have gone to Trenton tomorrow, so everybody could have gone to the volleyball game and the football game. But it is what it is. But we know that whether it be Trenton, we still have another week of 1A schools for Dodge City and Savoy. We still want to win out. No matter where it is that we're sitting right now, with our district not being over, we still want to get dubs for the next 3 games.
Sure, don't be satisfied.
So right.
Yeah.
So with Trenton coming up, our goal is to get them in 3, to still show improvement. And so how we can do that is watch game film on how we played that game, set some goals for this game as far as what points we want to hold them to each set. But at the same time, I know when we played Trenton there, they didn't have all their players. I don't know if they'll have all their players for tomorrow's game as well. However, like I've been telling our girls, we can't worry about what the other team's doing. We've got to focus on our mental game and our mental toughness and do what we're supposed to do.
Well, and that's like your question to the playoffs. I mean, we just got to worry about us. I mean, that's just a sign of a good coach. Yeah, we would love to have the capability of saying, hey, we're going to win this game. We know we're going to win. Let's go look at the future. We can't do that. We have to focus in on Collinsville. So I love that analogy. So good job, Coach. Final thoughts. What's your thought, not only just about the playoffs rolling up, because we're excited about that, and I know people are already asking, hey, what do you think about the sites? We can't determine that yet. We're looking around, but yet at the same time, just final thoughts in your community, the way the excitement's been. Student body, what you thought about them at the game the other day, and not just touch base too on how important it is for the players to hear that. Because it's huge. It gives you momentum. But and thank you to the Athletic Booster Club, Collinsville Athletic Booster Club. They donated some more money to the activity fund, which will pay for our playoff shirts and stuff like that. So, hey, try to join them. They've really been helping out a lot. We really appreciate that. Hey, thank you to ACTV and video by Brendan Hammock, who's back behind the scenes doing that. And thank you to Miss Sasha Young for allowing us to do this Coach's Show. But, Coach, give me your final thoughts.
Well, I do want to touch on something that when we were talking about playoffs, when we were at the Tioga game, I had remembered that Coach Patton from Tioga had told me that there was another school who had asked they were going to come watch our game. And so we ended up looking it up, and it looked like they're a school that we might meet up in the second round.
Fremont.
So I ended up telling our girls that during the 5th set to say, on one hand, I did want to apply a little bit of mental pressure to see, if we could handle it, to say, hey, girls, there's a school here who we might face in the second round who's here scouting us. And if that doesn't tell you that they're expecting us to play them, I don't know what else is going to convince you. So, trying to use, motivation as far as even outside schools to say, hey, if they're here, we must be pretty important.
Sure.
To continue to have them believe. We talked about the 3 B's: believe, breathe, and battle. Believe in yourself, breathe and be in the moment, and then battle. We knew Tioga was not going to let us get a win easily, and they didn't. And coming off of a win like that, I know that night, even though I didn't play, there was so much excitement. I felt like I didn't sleep all night, that my mind was rolling, and woke up yesterday exhausted, and I know my players must have been mentally and physically drained. But just to have that support from those who made that short trip to come watch us. We even had some junior high girls come which gave me goosebumps the next day when they came to practice that first period for morning. They were so engrossed in practice and their drills, and they had admitted, we're still running off that adrenaline from the game from the night before. So, you know, that game not only affected our high school girls, our team, it affected our junior high team, which is awesome, you know, for a program booster. It affected our school. There was this kid that I found, the one who took his shirt off, found out that he
ripped it off. Yeah.
that he's excited that hey, this volleyball game is pretty intense.
Yeah.
So, you know, to still see, you know, someone who's not used to it get excited, it is exciting, and we've just been having so much fun. And you know, you think, how can that game be topped? I have a feeling we'll still be able to do it.
What we talked about yesterday was we got into the playoffs, which is our first hoorah to everybody. That was our goal to the team. But we told a lot of them freshmen. I know we had our 2 seniors speak, or 3 seniors, and 2 of them that played in playoff games before, and then Katie Johnson, Madison Ashton, and Abigail Martin talk about playoffs. As much energy as in that playoffs, in the title game, wait till we get into the playoffs. I mean, the energy is multiplied times 10. So, and to have a team like Bremont come scout us for this area championship, we're just worried about being 2 seed. So players, don't take anything for granted. So, hey, come watch us play. It's an exciting time. Our players are playing at a high level. Coach Johnson and her staff have them really rolling. So come watch, come support, and be loud when you do. Once again, the Coaches Show. We appreciate ACTV staff presenting this. We also want to thank Brendan Hammock, who's behind the scenes videoing this, and thank you, Miss Ashley Young, for allowing us to do it. Pirates on 3, Coach. 1, 2, 3.
Pirates.